Hi, my name is Jason Santos, and I'm the creator of DinoRun, and this is gameplay video for submission for publication. And DinoRun began with a little find at a toy store. I found these little dinosaurs, and I was so impressed by them that I just wanted to use them to make a game. I tried and started to make a game for my 3-year-old son, and the game grew and grew and grew, and eventually grew into this. DinoRun. DinoRun is a game for 2 to 4 players. It takes about 30 to 45 minutes. The idea is that you're trying to move your color of dinosaurs down the board to escape this wall of ice that slowly creeps down and freezes everything in its path. In order to get to this area of safety down here, you have to cross this chasm, and when you do, you get a little tile here that has points and other things on it, and then your dinosaurs are safe from that wall. Setup for DinoRun is fairly easy. The dinos go in particular areas that have their names labeled for them, and you have a wall of ice back here that expands and grows. You have these chasm tile chips that you lay down, and then you place the draw pile and a 6-sided die there. Essentially what happens on your turn, it's a fairly simple process. You roll the die. Whatever the symbol is, if it's an ice symbol, that means that the ice must move forward 1 row, and if it lands on a row that there are dinosaurs, those dinosaurs are frozen and they're placed around this block of ice back here. If it happens to roll a number instead, if it's a 1, 2, or 3, that is the amount of cards you can play, and then you play a card, and each time you play a card, you move dinos. So you may end up with a multiple different colors of cards. You end up with everyone. Here's a blue and a yellow and a green and whatever happens. So if I were to play a blue 2, I can move any of the blue dinosaurs 2 spaces. So 1, 2, or 1, 2, or 1, 2. And you move those dinosaurs forward. And so you're moving everyone's colors of dinosaurs as you play this game forward. There's also a few cards that have purple numbers on them that allows you to move a dinosaur back 2 spaces in a direction, so it could actually be moved back. Otherwise, dinosaurs move forward or left and right. There are also some wild cards. They're indicated by gray. The numbers move 1 to 6, so sometimes you move a little bit, sometimes you move a lot. There's also a second type of card called an Ice Age card, and Ice Age basically comes in 1 or 2 rows, and when you play it, it allows you to move the wall of ice forward 1 or 2 rows, freezing everything, hopefully freezing some of your opponent's dinosaurs and not your own. And then there's also special action cards, and there are these purple ones. And they do everything from thaw a dinosaur so you can get it out of the frozen area and bring it back to the board, or allows you to fossil dig so you can go back into the draw pile and get more cards to play. It could affect your hand. You could be trading with the player. You could play the trade card. You have to trade your entire hand with another player. But the idea is that you're moving these dinos down the board, and in order to get them into safety, they move and they go across. So if it was a blue 3, and you went 1, 2, 3, and you crossed, then that dino would go into the 1 spot, and this is it goes all the way to 12. Once 12 dinos cross, the game is over. But if whatever tile they cross on, you get, and it has a point value, or it has a negative point value. And if it has a negative point value, you give it to your friend. If it's a positive point value, you give it to yourself. And there are also some thaw tiles in there that allow you to thaw a dinosaur, and you can play that just like a card. And then once you've played the indicated number of cards on your turn, you take your hand and you draw back up to 5, and so each hand you pretty much start with 5 cards. And then when 12 dinosaurs make it across the board, or if the ice has moved down and frozen all of the dinosaurs, then the game is over. And that's the basics of DinoRun. You roll, you play the indicated number of cards, and you move the dinosaurs, and then you draw back up to 5. Now, the catch to this, and what makes it actually a really interesting game, is that no one knows what your color is. So because you're moving all of the different the dinosaurs around, playing different cards, you might not even have any cards of your own color. You might have all blues and you're yellow and you're trying to move these blue dinosaurs down, but you don't want people to know that you're not blue and that you're yellow. And so what happens is that after you set the game up and you give everyone these color cards, it actually allows people to disguise their moves. So I may move green a little more slowly because I don't want my opponent, if I think he's green, or if I may move orange just as a dead zone because I think it's just a two-player game and there are two colors that don't belong to anyone. So the hope is that I can move my dinosaurs down without actually people realizing that they are mine. Now, the other aspect that makes this a little bit more interesting is that the dinosaurs are worth various points. So the Ankylosaurus are worth 1, the Stegosaurus are worth 2, the Triceratops are worth 3, the Pterodactyls are worth 4, the Brontosaurus here are worth 5, and the T-Rexes are worth 6. And they also have abilities that actually allow them to move. So let's say I was playing a blue 2 and I wanted to move. If I was going to move the Ankylosaurus, I could swing his tail. He has the ability to swing his tail, and it knocks a dinosaur on its side, so that would count as 1 point, and it would go 2. And if this next turn, if this dinosaur, if we want to move it, it takes the first movement point of an orange card to get it back up. So if I had an orange 5, it would go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that actually puts it back into play. Second, the Stegosaurus swap places. It's as if they're battling and they're sort of in a circle. So if it's a blue 2, I could swap places with this dinosaur. Not that I'd want to there, and then that would count as 1 point, and then I could move forward. And those both can be done on any movement point. The Triceratops actually bump forward. So for the blue Triceratops, he could bump 1 and it pushes in the direction, and then 2, and he sort of moves out of a jam. So the Triceratops has the horn, and he just sort of rams people out of the way. The Pterodactyls, they fly naturally, so they can fly over as their ability, and they also, in addition to flying over, they also get a bonus point. So on a 2 card, they would actually move 3, so they could go 1, 2, 3 and fly over the lake or over other dinosaurs, and it allows them to move out of jams pretty easily. The Brontosaurus, on the other hand, are a bit slower. They're bigger dinosaurs. They move at a -1, reverse of the pterodactyls. So if you were playing a blue 2, you would just get to move 1. But the advantage that Brontosaurus have, they can also move through water. So if they're in a jam over here, they can actually make their way and they can sit in water. And the biggest thing, though, to make Brontosaurus such a great piece is that they are unaffected by any of the other dinosaurs' abilities. And they're worth 5 points, so they're great to sort of slowly plod down the playing field. The T-Rex probably is the most powerful piece on the board. It moves, and on its last turn, it lands on a space and actually eats a dinosaur. So in this case, it could go 1, 2, and then it would eat this dinosaur, and this dinosaur would be eliminated, and there is a special action card to bring it back into play. It's called Not Dead Yet. But when a T-Rex eats another dinosaur, it has to be put on its side to digest until another card is played, and that allows that dinosaur, again, with the first movement point, to set itself upright and then move on. And that's the basic play in terms of how you move the dinosaurs and get them down the board. The game ends, like I said, with when 12 dinosaurs make it across, or when the ice has frozen all the dinosaurs, and then you simply add up the points on the end of how many dinosaurs came, and then you add up the bonus points on your chips that you get. And the chips you also get when you cross a dinosaur, you get the chip. Whoever crosses that dinosaur gets that chasm tile, chasm chip, and it allows them to gain points. So I could move any color of Ankylosaurus across. It's only worth 1 point. My opponent would get that point, but I would have the potential of getting 1 to 4 points. So that's basically it in terms of what DinoRun is and how it plays. So the last question that must be asked is, why DinoRun? Why would you want to publish DinoRun? I think there are a number of reasons that it is a good time to put this game into production, into the market. One, again, it's a quick game. It's got a quick setup. It's got low components. It's ideal for families or light gaming groups, or even sort of an early filler game before a heavier game. It can be cleaned up and played in under an hour. It's got a whimsical theme. Dinosaurs running away from ice. It's great. It's funny. It's light. Dinos are hot in our culture right now. Between Disney's The Good Dino and the Jurassic World movies that are out, dinos are just prominent in our culture, and people are thinking about them. So it's a great time to follow up with a good dino game. It's got a great psychological element in the hidden colors. You don't know who your opponents are. You're trying to figure that out. You can be aggressive because you can attack another person's dinosaur, but at the same time, if someone's attacking you, you can't be upset about it because you don't want them to see that that's your color. So it's got a great psychological element that allows people to sort of interact with one another. It's got sort of a game down here and a game up here in terms of trying to figure out who's who. And I think one of the biggest reasons is it's funny. The laughter that has ensued and the play testing was remarkable. Over 100 times I've had this thing play tested by a variety of ages, and one of the things that I've noticed every single time is people are just laughing and giggling and snickering as they eat another person's dinosaur. They think it's funny, and it's one of those things that at the end of the game I say, hey, was it fun, and would you want to play it again? And resoundingly 100% everyone has said, yes, I liked playing it. I loved playing it. It was fantastic. I want to play it again. I get it. I want to dig deeper. I want to think through those strategies. So in general, just as a light strategy game, it's really, I think it's a really solid, well-balanced game. I'm very into balanced games, and the games that I like to play have a sense of balance between theme and mechanics, and I think I accomplished that in this. 2, it's got a variable age play. As I said earlier, it was designed originally for my 3-year-old son. So those basic movements of roll, play, draw were designed for a 3-year-old. And I kept those basic turn elements because even as it progressed and I added new elements, because it kept the game to be able to be played in multiple ages. So, and if you look in the rules, there are bubbles that actually indicate the blue is a beginner, the green is intermediate, and it tells you where to take out components from the full game in order to adapt it for younger ages. So it literally is a game that will grow with your family, because my 3-year-old, whether he's 3 or whether he is 8 or whether he is 20, is doing the exact same thing every single turn: roll, play, and draw. Third, it's got a tremendous opportunity for expansions, extra dinosaurs, a 5th player of a 5th color. I have developed a volcano variant. I've developed an attack pack where the other dinosaurs can then attack other dinosaurs. And so I think it's got tremendous opportunity for expansions and actually for online games for an app. It's simple enough that you can envision it on an app and how you could play that. And so I think in terms of marketing and play beyond the board, it has tremendous potential. And that's it. I would love to see you produce this game. I love your games. I'm excited about getting this into production. If you have any questions whatsoever, please call me. Please contact me. Please, I'd love to send you a prototype. It's ready to go. I can put it in the mail tomorrow. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you love the game as much as I have, and that's DinoRun.